Have you ever looked at your to-do list and felt so overwhelmed that you did absolutely nothing? You scroll your phone, you check emails, you reorganize your desk for the third time today. You do busy work, anything, everything, except the one thing that actually matters. And then the guilt hits, that sinking feeling in your chest. Another day wasted, another promise broken to yourself. This is the procrastination trap, and it almost destroyed a man named Jacob. Almost. Jacob was 26. He had a dream, a real one. He wanted to build something of his own, a business, a future. But between him and that future sat a project, a 100-hour monster of a project. And every time he opened it, his brain shut down. Not because he was lazy, not because he didn't care, but because the size of it paralyzed him completely. Weeks turned into months. The project sat there, untouched, a monument to everything he wanted, but couldn't start. He filled his days with noise, emails that didn't matter, meetings about meetings, busy work dressed up as productivity. And every night, the same ritual. He'd lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, making promises he knew he wouldn't keep. Until one afternoon, sitting in a park with nowhere left to hide, he met a man who changed everything. His name was Alex. He was 67, retired engineer, built bridges for 40 years, real ones, over rivers and canyons. Jacob didn't know why he opened up to a stranger. Maybe because strangers don't judge. Maybe because he was just that desperate. He told Alex everything. The project, the paralysis, the shame of wanting something so badly and doing nothing about it. Alex smiled, not a mocking smile, a smile that said, "I've seen this before." And then he asked one question. "Jacob, have you ever tried to look at the top of a mountain from its base?" "What happens?" Jacob thought. "You freeze," he said. "Exactly," Alex said. "That's mountain paralysis. You're not lazy, son. You're just looking at the wrong thing. Stop looking at the peak. Look at your feet." Alex reached into his bag and pulled out an old kitchen timer, dented, scratched, the kind your grandmother used for baking. "Here's the only rule you need," Alex said. "Set this for 10 minutes. Just 10. Work on your project for 10 minutes. Then stop. That's it." Jacob almost laughed. 10 minutes? I have 100 hours of work. 10 minutes won't even make a dent. "You're not trying to finish," Alex said quietly. "You're trying to start. The hardest part of any journey isn't the mountain. It's the first step out the door. Starting friction," Alex called it. It's the force that keeps you stuck. And 10 minutes is all it takes to break through it. Because once you start moving, Jacob, momentum takes over. Momentum is more powerful than motivation will ever be. That night, Jacob went home. He sat at his desk. He didn't open the whole project. He just opened one page, and he set the timer. 10 minutes, that was the deal. He wrote one paragraph, drew one rough sketch, and when the timer rang, something strange happened. He didn't want to stop. The friction was gone. The engine was running. He worked for 45 minutes that night. But the next morning, the resistance came back. The voice in his head said, "Yesterday was a fluke. You can't do this." So, he set the timer again. Day 3, timer. Day 7, timer. Day 12. He stopped needing the timer, but he used it anyway. It had become his ritual. There were bad days. Days he sat there and wrote garbage. Days the timer felt like punishment, but he showed up every single day. And slowly, quietly, without fireworks or fanfare, the mountain began to shrink. 61 days later, Jacob finished the project. Mine's 100 hours of work, done in 10-minute blocks. But something bigger had changed. He wasn't the same person who sat on that park bench. The man who couldn't start a project now couldn't stop starting them. Because the 10-minute rule didn't just help him finish a project, it rewired his identity. He stopped being someone who wanted to do things and became someone who does them. He went back to that park bench 3 months later. Alex was there. Same cardigan, same glasses, same quiet smile. Jacob sat down and said 2 words, "Thank you." Alex just nodded and said, "Pass the timer on." So here are 3 rules Jacob lives by now. Rule 1, never negotiate with the start. Don't think, don't plan, just set the timer and begin. The first step defeats the fear. Rule 2, protect the streak, not the outcome. You won't always do great work, but if you show up every day, the compound effect will change your life. Rule 3, momentum is a muscle. The more you practice starting, the easier it gets. You're not building a project, you're building a person. So the next time your to-do list freezes you, remember Jacob. Remember the timer. Don't climb the mountain. Just take 1 step. 10 minutes. Start now.